Hello and welcome back to this video. Now in the last video we finished our first Power BI report and I'm sure you created a really awesome, stunning looking report, so congratulations one more time. Now in this video, in the next couple of videos, we want to dive into a, let's say, more advanced dataset, because our easy way was based on a simple Excel file. But this time we're going to dive into a more advanced Excel file, in this case, which allow us to set up our own data model in Power BI. And of course, these tables we have here, which are currently here in an Excel file, could also be tables from a database, for instance. The data structure itself, let me explore it with you together in here, is looking like that. We have 3 different tabs here, which referring to sales in different kinds of years. So we have 2021 sales here in the first one, we have 2020 sales in the next one, and then 2019 sales in the last one. And very important is that the structure itself here is exactly the same. So all these sales numbers or sales sheets here contain an order ID, product ID, location ID, salesperson ID, customer ID, order date, quantity, and then a price. Okay, this is the data structure of our sales tables. Now, we see that we have an order ID here, a product ID, a location ID, but these are all numerical fields, right? And here, depending on what kind of background you have, if you have an Excel background, you're a business user, you do not know too much about joining data, then simply consider it as a VLOOKUP. Because for each product ID we have here, for instance, we have a product sheet here, which also has a product ID and also a product name, which is specified here. And additional information about the product. For instance, the cost of the product, the original price, discount, current price, and taxes. And the same is true, for instance, for, if we take back in here, our location ID, which here is only this little number here, but in the locations table itself, we have additional information. In this case, we are dealing with a dataset which is relevant to the state of California, United States, but you see that there's much more information about each county here in California, but not next to the location ID here, which we can look up here as well, right? And the same is true for the salesperson and the customer ID. So there's also a customer list here, which has a customer ID and a customer name, and also salespeople, which has a salesperson ID and a salesperson name. So our goal is actually to combine those tables, so in our case the orange ones and the green ones, in our data model. So why do we have a structure like that? So just in case you do not have really much big background about that, so let me explain it to you just briefly. We use IDs here and look up the data in those tables here, because at first IDs are always faster. In this case, they shrink the model size, because instead of putting all the data which we have only stored one time in here, for instance, each product name and the information for the product, we can simply use this data and refer to it in this table, if we connect the tables. So we do not have to actually do duplicates in our sales table, or create duplicates in our sales table, which also makes it easier to change data. Because let's say I have a product ID, which is this one here, and then my product changes, because my company decides to rename the product. They created a relaunch, the information about the product, like the price and so on, changes. So instead of only, or have to really manually do it within this table for each sales entry with this product ID, we only need to change it one time. We can go to our products table here, look up the specific product ID, and then simply adjust the specific product line in here. So this means we only have to change the data in one row, instead of having to change the data in all the rows in our sales tables. And then in this case, in all these 3 tables. This is something we don't want to do, right? So this is why it's much more efficient, and that is why databases are normally structured like that, that we have our so-called sales tables, facts tables, sorry, these are the sales tables, and we have dimension tables, which refer to product, location, customer, and salespeople, for instance. And these dimension tables contain additional information about the data, and we can link those dimension tables in our model to our sales tables. Okay, and this is exactly what we're going to do in the next couple of videos when we set the data model up. Okay, so that's it for the introduction, and as always, thanks a lot for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, best guys.